The Richest Man in the World, written by Paul D. Fernhout, with some help from his child and wife, and some inspiration from Marshall Brain's Manna. Read by Paul D. Fernhout, August 5th, 2010. Put under the license Creative Commons by attribution, no derivatives. Mr. Ultra-Rich became the richest man in the world by designing robots. His lawyers defended his monopolies until all other competitors were put out of business. He even invented robot lawyers that put human lawyers out of business. Soon everyone was out of work. The politicians and their supporters said the solution was to lower taxes and cut social benefits to promote business investment. They tried that, but the robots still got all the jobs. With no jobs and no social benefits, people tried to grow their own food, but Mr. Ultra-Rich had bought up all the land. Robot police designed by him caught trespassers. Mr. Ultra-Rich soon had all the monopolies on the seeds too, so growing food without a license was illegal, and the licenses were expensive. Soon, the only way to get anything to eat was to break a law and go to jail. Jaywalking was frequently the crime of choice. Being in jail was really awful, but it was better than starving to death, and at least people often had their friends and family in nearby cells. Mr. Ultra-Rich had so much money, he even bought the government for the promise of a little food, and he replaced it with robots. Mr. Ultra-Rich had spent so much time designing robots and earning his money and just being rich that he never had time for a family. He was seen less and less in public. The last time anyone could remember seeing him in person was a long time ago. Eventually, just about everyone was living in jail. If they got out of jail, they had to break a law really fast before they starved. One person decided she did not want to break the law to get food. She decided to go talk with Mr. Ultra-Rich. Her name was Ms. Compassion. It was not easy to get into Mr. Ultra-Rich's estate, even with all the trucks driven by robots coming there every day, loaded with food from the robotic farms and boxes of stuff from the robotic factories. There were also a lot of trucks that went from the estate to a huge landfill nearby. Ms. Compassion used to work for Mr. Ultra-Rich long ago, helping design robots, until she got laid off, replaced by one of the robots she had helped design. So she knew a few electronic tricks. Using her knowledge of robotics, she sneaked on board one of the robot trucks going to Mr. Ultra-Rich's estate. When Ms. Compassion finally got inside the huge house, she found Mr. Ultra-Rich had died about 10 years before, but no one had noticed. He had never programmed the robots to respond to his death, so they just kept up the same old routines. He had suffered and died from vitamin D deficiency from working indoors too much, as well as from eating too many rich foods instead of organic whole foods, like vegetables, fruits, beans, nuts, seeds, and whole grains, with no friends around to help him be healthy. Ms. Compassion looked down on the body of Mr. Ultra-Rich and said, "How sad that Mr. Ultra-Rich died the poorest man in the world." Ms. Compassion used Mr. Ultra-Rich's office computer to reprogram the robots so they would share everything they made equally among all the people on the planet. Now people did not have to commit crimes like jaywalking to get into jail just to get food. People made up stories about how unhappy it would be to be poor like Mr. Ultra-Rich. For more information, you can see also Beyond a Jobless Recovery, A Heterodox Perspective on 21st Century Economics, which is a Google Knoll put together by Paul D. Fernhout. For more alternatives, you can also search the internet on terms like basic income, gift economy, localism and communitarianism, and resource-based economy.